I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 138, Top Gear Overdrive. Released in 1998, this game was developed by Snowblind Studios and published by Kemco. We played Top Gear Rally all the way back at game 13. This is the second Top Gear game on the console, although it's not directly a sequel. Are you getting tired of all these racing games yet? Well, I'm sure not, and that's a good thing, seeing as there's still a billion more to go. The main thing I remember from Top Gear Rally is there was no punishment for hitting walls, and you didn't really lose speed either. So I just spammed wall strats for the entire game. Maybe they'll work again on this one. Let's get into it. The main single player mode in this game is the championship, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. The first thing to do was pick my car. There were only two to choose from. This one looks like I'm playing Beetle Adventure Racing. They display their stats in handling, acceleration, speed, and braking. You can also change the color. Then we get right into the first race on a track called Frigid Peaks. Pretty much right off the bat, I passed up 5 people and thought I would just reach first before the end of the first lap. That wasn't the case though, as the rest of the pack was much harder to catch. A new thing added to this game is the ability to use nitro to boost. Using it just before a hill is probably not the best idea though. I appreciate the animation of your car exploding like that. When I respawned, I went under a sign that gave me $500. Hopefully that's something for a better car. Just like Top Gear Rally, this game has some simple shortcuts on the tracks. I can cut through this construction zone to skip quite a significant portion of this one. It might even be faster if I didn't suck at it. The race wasn't going so hot, as I was in 6th place on the final lap. You're able to restart races in this game without any real penalty, which is nice. On the next attempt, I slammed into a pole and exploded. What the heck, man? This game is looking more and more like Beetle Adventure Racing. Maybe they like shared assets or something? I don't know. Along with that construction zone, there was a cave to take quite a big shortcut. The time save from it gets cut down a bit as you have to make 2 90-degree turns at the end. Along with getting cash, some of those signs you can drive under give you an additional nitrous boost. These things are crucial to getting first place, along with knowing good places to use them. It took quite a few resets, but I did eventually take home first place. Those shortcuts are really hard to take, which I kind of like. It'd be a bit boring if they were trivial, you know? For getting first, I received an additional $4,000. Between races, you can purchase upgrades for your car in handling, acceleration, and speed. Along with that, you can buy additional nitrous boosts for the next race. I decided to just max out my handling because, well, I'm not really sure why. Hopefully it was a good decision. The second race was on Fertile Canyon. There's a giant barn right at the start. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and music of the game. The graphics are really nice. You can turn on a high-res mode, which I opted to do, and it didn't really mess with the game's frame rate all that much. I liked playing with it turned on. The music is just not good though. They licensed music from some band called Grindstone, and the songs grind my ears away. It's kind of like a knockoff Soundgarden, I guess. But it's so compressed and, oh man, it sounds even worse than a cassette tape. Not a fan. At the beginning of this track was a shortcut traveling through an abandoned mine shaft. Also a dinosaur skeleton for some reason. It's kind of hard to control the car in this game. It's a mix between realistic and arcade physics, but probably trending more towards arcade. To catch the CPU, you've got to drive so fast, but it's really hard to turn well without slowing down. Later, there was a small shortcut past the bridge and through the cornfields. Sometimes it's hard to justify taking these because they almost always are locked behind a tight turn. Does the decrease in distance traveled make up for the slowdown from the turn? Well, it's definitely not worth it if you blow up. I don't know, it was hard to judge. I wound up settling for 3rd place in this one, not too bad. Still $2,500, which is solid. Was able to upgrade my acceleration and speed just a tiny bit. Now we're on to the Swampy Depot. There's a big boat stuck in the water near the start of this one. No clue how that situation could have ever happened. The jumps are absolutely out of control here too. I can't imagine what's going to happen when my speed gets higher than this. Straight into the wall I go. The shortcuts in this one are weird, but before I could show them off, I turned around while searching for one and got knocked into next Tuesday. There's this cave right after a ramp, making it hard to go through. That's already rough, but once you leave the cave, there's a second cave essentially immediately after leaving the first. I'm not sure if I'd call it rubber banding, but there's definitely some shenanigans at play with the leading cars. I was in second place early into the second lap, but first was still so far ahead of me. I don't think it's rigged like pure rubber banding, but they certainly make it difficult to catch up, even though it's easy to pass all the other racers. All in all, I got second place in this one, bringing home $3,000. It showed a small cutscene with some fireworks and said the season was complete. I didn't even realize I was in a season, honestly. After purchasing my upgrades, it did say I was in Season 2 now. I could view the first 3 races, which were all the previous tracks, but the 4th was secret. I guess they're going to add 1 new track per season. It was in Season 2 that I discovered I could trade my car in and buy a new one. Not gonna lie, these replacement options have horrible stats. There was a secret one it wouldn't show me that looked a bit better, and these didn't have any upgrades yet, but still. It was hard to justify when I had such high stats on my current car. While these first 3 courses were the same, sometimes they were changed up. Like in Fertile Canyon, it was now nighttime. This showed off the game's headlights, which, they don't really help you see all that well. It's a cool lighting effect for the N64 era though. After that race, I went to buy that secret car, which was a blue sports car. However, there was now a secret car with even better stats that showed after that. It appears you keep unlocking new cars once you can afford the previous one. I felt it was best to just keep saving up until I could afford the very best one. Actually, that was a complete lie. I ended up buying the blue sports car before the new track of this season. It was called Downtown. Right at the start, there was a split in the path. It didn't really seem like a shortcut, although the CPU drivers all went the other way. There was then a blue tunnel that looked cool, but after that was disaster. There were some complete drop-offs on this highway, like who designed this? My car went insanely airborne, and if this was real, I'd definitely be dead. The signs here said Motor City, so I think that means we're in Detroit? Seems quite unsafe to me. I easily took first place in this, maybe because of the new car. It did the same fireworks sequence and Season 2 was complete. Now going to Season 3, which has 5 races. All the same tracks and 1 new one. I wonder how many there are. After 3 races this season, I was able to buy the next car. It kinda looks like the Banshee from Grand Theft Auto 3. I didn't realize before that you can trade in the old car and it barely loses any value, so it's definitely worth it to purchase all of them. The new track in this season was called Sandy Beaches. Looking at the minimap, this one is the shortest by far. Honestly, this track looks an awful like the first track from Top Gear Rally. There's a waterfall early on, and if you're a gamer, you already know there's a shortcut behind that. Annoyingly, my speed was so high that I was struggling with caves and the like. I also have no idea why it just forced my car to respawn when I came out of the cave. Maybe it's because I touched the water? Yep, nah, that's not it. I put myself completely underwater and nothing happened. I think it's just jank. All in all, it's a pretty nuts shortcut. Feels like it skips half the track. After taking home another first place finish, I got my fireworks cutscene and Season 3 was complete. As you might expect, Season 4 is after that. I could now afford the next car and it's like an off-brand Hummer? What is this thing supposed to be? Not really sure how it's going to be better than the Banshee. A few races later and I could buy the next car. This one just looks like a normal car? Like a Toyota Corolla or something. It has higher stats, so I guess fair enough. I was excited for yet another new track at the end of the season, but nope. They just reused Fertile Canyon with mirror mode. Aw man, that's lame. I got my fireworks after the race all the same and yet another new season started. Will this game ever end? Into Season 5 now and I had the next car upgrade. This one looks like a Corvette, I think. Way better than the last one. It started out with nearly max stats, I barely had to buy any upgrades. Oh wow, they made it snow now. They're even changing up the weather on me to make this feel like new content is happening. Also, this car was so fast that I had no chance of controlling it. Luckily, wall strats are still at play here. The next new car upgrade, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. It kind of looks like a moon rover. The new track in this one wasn't even new. It was just Swampy Depot again. They didn't even bother to mirror it. What the heck, man? Well, after a 5th fireworks session, I was hoping it was over, but nope, Season 6. However, looking at the races, the 8th track was new this time, Space Truckin. Heck yeah, that's something to look forward to. I love Deep Purple. I got the final car upgrade in this season, whatever this is. Maybe it's a Lamborghini? Either way, it had max stats right off the bat. I was just cruising along, waiting on Space Truckin' when the game crashed out of nowhere. Hello, Papadocia. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Oh my god, no way. Am I gonna have to do this all over again? Thank god the devs were good and programmed autosave into this game. I would have been livid. Literally smashing my controller, my N64, my PC, my Windows, the entire house, all of it. Once I'd reached the end, it was time to race Space Truckin'. The way the track looks reminds me a lot of Stunt Racer 64. I wonder if that game took inspiration from this level. By the way, how did all these cars get out here anyway? So this one's pretty basic, other than the part where it gets jank and you fall through the ground. That's my favorite part. For real though, I don't think there's any shortcuts here. It's just a traditional racetrack and it feels a bit out of place in this game. After winning this race, I got my final fireworks session. It popped up saying I passed all 6 seasons with flying colors. Then the credits play, where it shows a taco driving around with tomatoes for wheels? What on earth? There was a cheat code I found after the game to unlock some bonus cars. There's the N64 logo, the taco, a donkey in a display case, a Nintendo-powered muscle car, and a big hot dog. I guess if you didn't get enough of this game already, it could be fun to drive around as a donkey. Who in the heck had this idea? Like, where did this come from? But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Top Gear Overdrive. They didn't really add much from Top Gear Rally, but this does feel like a game with a bit more content. There were a total of 6 tracks, which I think is the same amount as the last one. A lot more cars to play around with though, and more refined driving physics. This racing game doesn't really stand out as all that special to me, but it's not bad either. The single player mode gets quite repetitive with playing the same tracks over and over, but it wasn't a bad time. I probably wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless you're like an N64 veteran looking for something more obscure. I gave it a 4 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 3.5 out of 10 for difficulty. Hey, thanks for watching the video. Have a sneak peek at the next game. So there are 252 on the list. Could be anything picked. We'll find out together. 3, 2, 1, go! 150? What's that? Oh no! It's happening. We are playing the new Tetris. I'm not that good at Tetris, so I'm hoping this is an easy clear condition, because I'm definitely below average at Tetris. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It helps the channel a lot. And if you like this series, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.